go. I think that should do it. Hi. Hello to everyone in chat. I think I might be a little... Hold up. Something like that. Oh, I messed up this entire... There we go. That's better. Hello, SolarLune here. I am an independent game developer. I'm the creator of MasterPlan, which is what we're looking at right here, in the bottom right corner. And I am a musician and stuff. I do stuff. So hello, welcome to the stream. It's been a little while since I last streamed. A few days, about a week. Sorry about that. Just, things come up and that's life. But hey, I'm back streaming today. Also, sorry for starting late. Yeah, just had just some cough / breathing stuff where I'm just like, hold up. But yes, hello. Let me get some water to help my voice. All right, but hello to everybody. So this is MasterPlan. This is MasterPlan at the bottom right corner. I'm using Linux. That's why it looks so nice and cool. Let me see if I can change the theme here because I want something that's that's green actually to kind of match what I got going on everywhere else. But for anyone who's coming to this new, MasterPlan is a project planning software that I've been working on for a few years, which is kind of crazy to say that, but yeah, it's been a few years. I guess I'll maybe go with this for now. Unless, I mean, maybe there's a theme out there that I can look for. Let me see. But the thing about MasterPlan that's pretty interesting, it's basically a project planning software specifically for game development, or primarily for game development, since that's what I'm used to. It is a piece of software that is primarily offline. So that means that you don't have to create an account or anything like that. It is a one-time purchase. You don't have to be connected to the internet. It saves things directly to your computer, locally. So you can sync it up with GitHub or use Git or use SVN or whatever you want to use for version control. And yeah, it's a nice like productivity to-do list kind of thing. It works pretty well, I think. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I just need to find something that works for me. Actually, I think this might have been a good one. Maybe? No. In any case, but yeah, so this is the software. This is it right here, MasterPlan. And so what it does is basically allow you to put in text or media like images or sounds, things like that. You can design maps in here. You can link to websites in here. You can link to images and sounds from the internet in here. So it's kind of like an offline application, but it tries to an offline non-browser based application, but still tries to have some media literacy when it comes to putting media into your projects. And I'm going over everything again for anyone who is unfamiliar with my channel. But yes, so that's what we'll be working on today. This is what we'll be working on. Something that I've been working on recently is the ability to change text for multiple cards at the same time. So if you hold Shift, which is the same key that you use to select cards, and then double click on text, you can just edit all cards at the same time, which is cool. That's rather cool. And what's more is if you press Tab or Shift Tab, you can jump to excuse me, the next card in the stack. Basically the next editable label in the next card in the stack. So you can, for example, say, let's go ahead and say that we're making some sort of information for, let's say, and this is the same example I used, I think, last time, where let's say we're making like a tabletop RPG plan where basically we're keeping track of the player's stats and things like that, you can hold shift and then say like, oh, this is a key stat. This is, you know, for example, for this one, it's going to be HP. Next one will be strength. Next one would be defense. Next one would be constitution. Final one would be like chance or something. And then you can hold shift and change them all to be, let's say, out of 10. And then you can drag these little, dots here to move it, or press plus or minus, either one. We can collapse it, and then there you go. So we can say like, oh, this character has maybe 8 out of 10 HP, maybe 3 out of 10 strength, you know, defense, constitution, stuff like that. The next thing I wanted to do actually is make it so that if you type, instead of just adding a new line like that, we can have a little toggle with a little indicator that allows us to switch it from making a new line or just extending the card horizontally. I think either having that as an option would be good, because that way you don't have to have this kind of situation where, you know, you have this kind of a layout and you're like, oh, I want to type in Constitution, and then now this card is taller than, you know, the rest, and so you're like, oh, well, I have to, like, you know, extend it like this and then recollapse it like that. You know, rather than that, it would be cool if it automatically did that for us, because we're typing on a computer. We can have it do stuff for us automatically. So that's the next thing. So the idea that I had was basically to add a little button here. But the thing about that I don't like, or the thing about that is that basically that's kind of a new system in MasterPlan, to have just a free floating button that just kind of hangs out while you're in whatever state that you want to be in this case, editing text. So I was thinking, okay, well, I can make a menu out of it. I can make a menu and then put the button in there. But I don't like the idea that you have this menu that has, you know, kind of a blank space at the top with the title and all that, just for an indicator or just for 1 or 2 buttons. So, well, I mean, that might be fine, because like some people wanted to have add the ability to, some people were asking for like bold text or italic, being able to type italic text or bold text in. So it probably would be good to add some sort of menu to kind of facilitate that feature at some point, whenever I do end up adding it. Yeah, so that's probably for the best here. Yeah, it seems doable. Seems like a good idea. So that's what we'll do. We'll make a menu for it. Font, or really, this should be text menu. Can make this big. We'll say this is like, I don't know, 128 by 96. Doesn't need to be very big, I think. Menu close, none. This is gonna be text editing. Resizable. Okay. And also, hello to everybody in chat. I'm sorry that I didn't say anything. Hello to everyone who's watching in the future. Hello to everyone who's oh, there we go. Hello to everyone who's yeah, everyone who's watching in the future. Hello to everyone who's watching right now, or will be watching in the future, but still watching live. Let me pull up some music here. We're gonna go with something kind of chill. I think that'd be good. This kind of works. That kind of works. That's not bad. I'm gonna move my camera actually to maybe up here. That might be a little better because when we do this, now you can see all of the bottom left. You can see pretty much everything. Yeah, that's pretty good. Excuse me. All right, so the idea here, we created a menu, and we really basically always want it on when editing text. It'll just pop up at the top right and give us a little indication of, yeah, what we're doing essentially. Let's see. Oh wait, icon button group. It can only be one. That might work actually. Let's see. It's never used. A bit. There we go. All right, so these are the same. This should be this. There we go. So we're looking for 368, 256, and 336, 256, 368. Yeah, okay. We'll go by domain. So we're at 368, 256, and 350, 320. I've forgotten. 336, something like that. All right. Okay, now what we want to do is have this open whenever we're editing text. So we will go to main update. Where's main update? Let's see. Is there any way we can make sure that we are only editing text? I guess we could say if you're editing text and an exclusive menu is not open, then we can assume that it is a menu from a... What is up with this? Hold up, let's see. Let's fix this first. Apply to... Okay, so there's the icons, new GUI image. Okay, so I think, yeah, 10 by font color. There we go. Why did I do this like that? There we go. Let's see, new button. Make this a little bigger for everyone to see at home. Let's see, new button. Symbol from, okay, BG, new button. Okay, let's see. Okay, so something like that should kind of get us there. Where even was I? There we go. That's how it should look. Cool. All right, so what we want to do here, we want to make it so that basically you can only, the menu only appears when you're editing text from a card and not just editing text in general. Let me take a look at the different menus to see if any of them have editable text. They do. This is editable text right here. Lucretia says, "What's up, Solar? Hello, what's up? How's it going?" Yeah, if the text is editable here, we want specifically to know if the label is from a card. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something like this. We're gonna say, excuse me, if globals.editing label state text added and all right, so something like this should kind of get us there. Okay, so Butler Studio says, "What's up? Hello, welcome to the stream." All right, so the idea here is pretty cool, pretty much working, I believe. The idea being that now we know when we're editing text that belongs to a card, essentially. So we want to go to main. There we go. You know what? Let's do something else. Let's do this a little bit differently, because I'm thinking rather than doing it like this, where we manually enforce something like this, or manually write this in the update loop, it would be better if we made it so that a menu can be basically have an always on. Let me close Discord. Let me close Discord. I'm getting messages. But basically, it would be cool if menus could like basically it would be cool if menus could always be on under certain circumstances. For example, if you're editing text and you know the text belongs to a card, as an example. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that instead. We're gonna go over here, even though this might be kind of bad. Current page. Oh, I see. Always on. Yeah. No, and always on if. Do that open. Okay. Open equals true. Okay. All right. So that's the general idea. So now when we go back over here, we can go to text editing, or what's it? Here it is. Text editing. We can say text editing dot always on if equal if globals dot state is equal to state text editing and globals dot editing card. It's not gonna go. And it's auto open. Okay, let's see. Why is this not working? Yeah, it's not working. Auto open. I did. Okay, yeah, I did add it. Okay, we'll see when you update. Okay. Reversed menu, tab menus. Draw. Excuse me. Add name. Get name. Okay, this all seems well and good. I don't get why this isn't working though. New menu. Auto open. It's draggable. It's resizable or not resizable. Oh, so it has to be opened first. Okay. So let's go back. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. Does the menu system only iterate through if it's opened? Okay, yes. No, that's only for exclusive menus. Oh, is current page set when you... No. I see. Okay. I guess this can just be solved by doing this. That's the takeaway. Music Boy J Boy says, I don't feel so good. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. Okay. This is better. This is doing something. Let's see. So why is it flickering? If it's not opened, oh, else if not menu.auto open. There we go. Cool. So we want to go back and ideally have, and you can, should be able to, oh, you can't move it. Why can't you move it? Hold on, let's see. Menu system.update is here. And project.update. So why is it that? If menu.draggable and state is not equal to text editing. So you can't drag it while text is being edited? Why? Why would I do that? Why would I don't know. I don't know why, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. That's strange, but I don't. My mind does not always it's not always a good place. Like, it doesn't always work properly. I'm not sure. There's probably a reason why I did it, but I don't remember why. So I'll have to come back to this later, I guess, and revisit it at some point. All right, so this is working. What we want to do is we want to new icon button group. Where do we actually use this? Oh, for this stuff. These are icon buttons. Understood. I guess we can just do this way then. Okay, I guess that's what we want. Here we go. Okay, so now we have two. Well, it's just one. It's two buttons, but they're like overlapping. So I guess I'll fix it by doing this. Okay, better, but we can't click buttons while text is being edited. Looks like. Sigh. Of course I can't. Let's see. Context menu. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Okay. Better. Let's see. I don't know why it does that, but it's fine. And I am just like choked up this entire time. All right, so here we go. So that works. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so this works. We probably don't want it to say text editing. Maybe we could say like wrap mode. Something like that. And then maybe this should be, this one needs to be wider. Okay, so something like that should be good. So now we have a couple of wrap modes we can select. Only when we're editing text. There we go. So this will be bigger once, you know, more options are there. But for now, this is fine. You can move it around as you want. I'll probably make a key combo to switch between wrap modes easily, but this should work. So now we can actually make it work. Default comment. Okay. Let's see, label dot, we don't want line, do we have width? No. we have to do this. Globals.text render measure text label.text 1. So something like that should kind of do it. So as you can see, it's not working. All right, so let's see. What's the size it's actually interacting with? Label to editing, label to text changed. Let's see, size. Wrap. Size is globals.text render or measure text size. Let's try this. Let's say we want a little bit of a buffer. Okay, that works a little bit better. Let's give us a little bit more room. We could also only expand it when you type more. Well, no, we could make it so that it fits. We could have either any of those options actually. One where it wraps, one where it expands. It like fits. Like it fits horizontally, and one where it will grow but not shrink. Nah, it feels like it's too much. This might be fine. All right, so now we want to go back. Yeah, we can make this a property instead. I guess we can do it here actually. Don't I do it way up here at the beginning? Don't I set stuff? I feel like I do, don't I? Here we go. Let's see. Please set. All right, and then text set. True. All right, so now we go back over here to contents and we say if this dot as bool, and that should kind of be it, I think. Immediately crashes, fantastic. Is bool not float 64 properties? 65. Yeah. There you go. Set it to be 0, not true. Forgot to actually update this in contents. No, let's see. How do I want to do this? Because I mean, we can make it a string, I guess, because we don't know how many text wrapping modes we want. So it's in the GUI, I guess. I don't know where these constants should go, but this seems fine, I guess. Wrapping mode none. Okay, now we go back over here. Set it to be wrap. And then in contents we say if as string. Okay. So something like this should kind of get us where we're looking to go. Never mind. 65. Oh. You know what? Let me do this way. So I can actually kind of easily jump there. And none of these are where the issue is. The issue is actually group. A property that's selected is just setting it to be a float 64 index. Okay. So 0, 1, etc., etc. Okay, so then what we need to do is go back over here and have this be just 0 and wrap to be 1. I'm not sure which one is which. Like which one comes first. It defaults to expand. Wrap. Okay, so wrap is 1. So 0. So we'll do it like this. Should I put this? We could put this over here. I guess this is fine. This is fine. We'll put it there. Carl Otto says, "Evening. When did you start stream? Like roughly 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock. So I've been going for about an hour." $208, 208, 352. Okay. Excuse me. So 32, 4, 8. All right, so now we have 0 and 1. If we want to add more, we can add more just in the same row, in the same column rather, but I think this should work. So let's see. Yeah, I think the wrapping mode is off. Let's see. Wrap. Expand. Wrap, which means 0. Oh, there we go. I guess I can just do this actually, like this. There we go. There we go. You could expand it. Okay. Cool. So that works actually really well. So you can say like, oh, I want wrap mode on, and then you can just be like, but with wrap mode on, the card gets longer. This, yeah, cool. All right, that's I think good enough to kind of help people out, give people what they want. It'd be cool to have tooltips. I've never implemented tooltips this entire time because most images were pretty self-explanatory, or they were just not that critical. But I really should implement them at some point, so that's probably what I'm going to do next. Okay. Sorry to whoever was wearing headphones when I decided to just be completely stupid. All right, so this is working. This is working pretty well. All right, let's see. I don't know if I want to commit all this stuff. I do, but at the same time, I don't want to. But I really should if I'm going to be adding. Take a picture of me when I wake up thirsty. Just the SpongeBob. I don't need it. Meme. Yeah. So yeah, I need to commit this stuff. Otherwise, I'll have even more to commit if I implement tooltips, because that's going to be just more. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so resizing. Climario Jenkins says, Solar, glad to see you back live. Hello. Indeed, yes. I am indeed back live. I think this has been fixed. Alright, I just completely never added this to the to-do list, but okay, so that's been added. Need some sort of templating system. Add ability to display current amount or current out of maximum for numbered cards. I think that was added, right? Didn't I work on that? Didn't I do that? Three out of 6%. Okay, yeah. So you can choose to edit, show numbered cards as a percentage, X out of Y, or off. Okay, so that's fine. Okay. Flash selected cards. Smooth panning and zoom. Okay, cool. All right, so this is implemented. We're good on that. This might need to be done, but that's another time. Something for another time. All right, we're gonna commit all this, I suppose. Okay. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this like this. Okay, so here we're adding the ability to oh, I see. Okay. Adding ability to edit multiple cards at the same time. A key and all right. Let's see. This is stated. Container has element editing label. Okay. All right, let's see. This is syncing properties, handling undos, collapse Let's see. Fix the lapse. Not properly undoable. Let's see. Like editing text. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Common. It's just supporting stuff. There's something actually I needed to do, I think. Yeah, why didn't I? Look here. Snowmink says, my dev lead at work would love your commits, so neat and comprehensive. Thanks. I try not to just commit like changes, because I mean, I also do this to have a change log that I can present to people, through the Steam or itch update that is accompanying the build, but then also both on GitHub. In the wiki, I put the changelog there, as well as I package it in the same directory as the program. So by having a commit that's really detailed, that means I don't have to have a change. I don't have to write up the changelog again. Like I can just write it up once, put it on the wherever I want to put it. In this case, multiple places, and then I can talk about it and package it, and I can do it. Like I can use the commit as the changelog. So it's not too painful since you're only doing it once. What did I just... Oh, yeah. This is for subpages? Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Fine, I think. Yeah, it's a little wonky, but that's fine. I don't need to fix everything perfectly. If I did, nothing would get done. Okay, so that should be good. We can include this in here. Did I forget anything else? No. Okay, so contents back here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, well, I guess I'll put that here. Oh, I was gonna add a shortcut for that. Does it really make sense to add a shortcut for this? It would have to be like control, I guess. Control something. To toggle the wrap mode. Yeah, maybe I could just do like control 1 to toggle between the two different wrap modes. I'm just thinking, do I really want to do that? Well, why not, right? Like why just literally why not? Like what reason would I have to not add the ability? considering it's not hard at all to do. Close this real quick. Okay, multi-edit, resize multiple, hold. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was like, what am I doing here? I am trying to add a key binding to make it so that you can switch. Yeah, that's right. Switch wrap mode. Something like that could kind of work. Now we can save this. Go to project. Whoops. There we go. What was that state? Go to state edit, text editing. You know what? What if I added? Oh no, you couldn't do that. What if I was thinking about like, what if you wanted to pan while you were editing text, but there's not really any key on the keyboard that doesn't have a function. I was thinking the arrow keys, but that they have a function, moving the cursor. I guess I can make it so that you could press Control, like Control WASD. Not Shift. No, because Control A is select all. Control up, down, left, right. Maybe, I don't know. I have to think about that. Carl Otto says, "Good commit logs make for nice automatic change logs on GitHub." Exactly. That's why I do it. Otherwise, I mean, even without change logs is useful for even a personal project, because that allows you to see like, oh, this is where it all went wrong. Like, oh, you know, I was working on the particle system and I made some changes, and then, you know, a month later, you're like, why are my particles so janky? You know, at what point did they get jank? And so you can jump back to be like, when did I first, you know, I remember they were working fine previously, and then like it's been bad like this for weeks, and so you can jump back to see like when, you know, so it's definitely useful. It's definitely useful. Shortcut. Switch wrap mode. All right, and now I'm not like too keen on this concept because it's like it's adding an entire like brick of code just for switching the wrap mode, which you wouldn't really want to do while you're editing text. I feel like not like at not frequently, but I mean it can't hurt, I guess, to add it as an option. It just let me see. Actually, we want to and what's that? Adding. Let's see. So, yeah, okay. So when is this done? Is this done after or before? Oh, I have to consume the key after. Yeah. Still not working. I think it's because yeah, the shortcuts happen after the page gets updated. I'm not sure if this is correct or not. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not really not that hard to just switch it here. I'll leave no shortcut for it. Well, because in order for this to work, if it's, I mean, I guess we could make it like F2 or something, F5, but I think these are kind of, yeah, these are kind of, like the function keys are kind of used already. F4 makes it full screen. Oh no. They open the menus. I don't know. I guess we could do like Control F1. That's awkward. Control F1. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, like, I could see the advantage of having it's. I think I'm not going to. Well, if I wanted to implement something like bold or something. Well, no wait. Why is this not? Like, Control B doesn't make me type a B, but Control 1 does make me type a 1. Why? Oh, so Control and any letter does not type a letter. I see. Control and 1 does because it's just like that. I'll just make a Control W then. That's fine. There's no such. It doesn't do anything. Control W. Yeah. Okay. That gets us to the result we're looking for. Control. I should probably make like sections or something so that this can be a little bit more a little bit less wild. Anyway, text or card text editing, switch wrap mode. Okay. Okay. All right, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like that. Okay, let's see. What am I looking for? Expand. Expand. All right, cool. That's cool. All right, let's see. What else? Main. Let's see. Exclusive. Okay. All right. I didn't know I had that on. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Okay, so it's state neutral. Let's see. GUI image. Okay. Icons. No. Oh, okay, let me do this now. Cool. Please don't. Please. Clean your repository. No. I don't wanna. It's like, yeah, it's a small change. Please just don't please don't do this to me. Let's see. Can I stash the changes? I don't want to stash the changes. Here's what I'm gonna do. I will, because I do not trust my computer or just my life in general. I don't trust nothing to happen. I'm going to just make a manual backup of MasterPlan real quick. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Why do you do this? Exactly. But this is okay. So I guess what I need to do is I need to take all of these. I need to stash all of this. So I'll do that now. Push. I think it also wants me to clean all this, so I'm gonna revert all of this stuff. Should be fine. Now sync the changes. Thank you. All right, now we can apply the stash. Then we should be back to neutral, right? Everything's good. All right, cool. We're good. Okay, so back to it. Where were we? No longer icons for displaying. This was in main, right? Yeah, icons for applying colors to cards no longer change color depending on. Ooh, there we go. No, depending on theme. Let's see. That was this area. All right. I had a load confirmation. Oh, okay. So I just, hold on. I added the ability. Hold on, let me see here. If I say I want to. Okay, so now it says the project, yeah. Lucretia says, what is the thing you're working on for MasterPlan? Right now I'm just working on committing all the changes I've done, but as of like 30 minutes ago, I was working on basically multiple, like changing the text wrapping mode. So if you have the wrapping mode set to wrap, then when you type too much in a card, it will make the card taller. So you can, it'll go like this, like that. But if I added the other mode, which is extend mode or expand mode, where basically if you type too much to the, as you type, the card just gets horizontally longer, which is useful. It's a quality of life thing, yeah. And then in addition, I haven't committed these changes. This is the next, what I'm committing right now, is I added the ability to change multiple cards at the same time. So you can change, a lot of labels or change a lot of maximum values or minimum values or whatever for different cards at the same time by just holding shift and editing the value of the card that you want to change, and it will do the same thing on every other card you have selected as long as it's applicable, essentially. Lucretius says, or rather Carl Otto says, my problem is forgetting to push or pull when switching from laptop to desktop or vice versa. Yeah, it's a little tough. Seems like one of those things where it could be that would be a nice add-on for VS Code, as an example. If you're using VS Code, to just basically, when you like start it up, check the repository and just be like, hey, you have the local repo and the remote repo aren't on the same commit, so do you want to like push or pull or something? Like, do you just give you a little prompt, because that I've kind of done the same thing before, where like I pull, or someone like makes a PR, I accept it, and then I go back to coding and I don't think like I have to pull the PR in. So yeah, that's. Sopu says, I end up just putting all my repos on Syncthing or Dropbox, and then everything's always in sync. That's, yeah, you could do that too, because that way you don't have to worry about it. But the downside, while also using Git, that's cool, that's true. I kind of wonder if you could like have, if you, I'm that actually is a pretty good idea, because I was like, what if you have a situation where Git gets corrupted or something, but then you can just always be using it with an external version control like GitHub or Tortoise, well, not Tortoise SVN, but GitHub or GitLab, those kinds of, you know, external services. So even if your local copy gets corrupted because of something or it doesn't sync properly, you still have this external authoritative status to be like, you know, it should be working, or this is what it should be backing up to, or this is the correct the correct current build of the program. And Lucretia says he's watching Dragon Ball Super. It's so bad, but I love it. But he loves it. That's interesting. Dragon Ball Super. I saw the clip of Goku like preparing the Kamehameha and like grinding it on I don't know the character's name. It's like a female Super Saiyan who's like launching her own Kamehamehas using both hands, and he like vaults over her Kamehameha and like grinds his Kamehameha on her beam. It's like the most like bananas thing. It's so stupid, but it is dope. Like that is just like, yo, let's go. Like that is dope. But anyway, I don't watch Dragon Ball Super. I don't watch Dragon Ball. Not really. I mean, like, I've heard of Dragon Ball Super. I've like seen, you know, a couple clips, but like I don't watch it very much. Carl Otto says, that is a neat idea. I had an extension to check for changes and to remind to push. I need to check why they stopped notifying me. Okay, yeah. I was like, it feels like one of those things where, you know, any developer could spend like an afternoon coding that, or not, you know, if you're a good developer, a couple of minutes, really, just, you know, a couple of, you know, if you're a good developer who's like really used to VS Code as an example, then making that add-on or extension might be an hour. For me, it was considerably longer because I'm not familiar with how VS Code does its plugins and things. But it seems like one of those things where like every developer on Earth has forgotten to like push or pull and gotten their you know, local repository or local tree set up to the point where it's like, oh, now I have to like stash my changes and, you know, delete the untracked files and pull the changes and then reapply the, just like I just did. Exactly what I just went through. Anyway, okay, so that's cool. What else have we done? Quality of life, adding. Let's see. This one is the text editing menu. Okay, that's new. Yeah. Okay. Auto open. Okay, that's. Okay, message says nothing really new. Page says nothing really yes, actually that is new. I don't know if this is something that is an internal, I'll say an internal fix. No. Okay, let's see, project. And this should not be this way. This should be this. There we go. Let's see. Fix. Pasted screenshots. Shit. This might break some people's projects, but I'm not sure. I don't want to. No, I guess it's fine because it only should break. Well, not break. It only changes things for projects that are being. Yeah, it shouldn't change anything for. I'm scared. I'm scared. All right. Properties. That shouldn't be too much of a change. Yeah. Inner texture. Lucretia says, I want to create an app so bad, but I don't know what to create. Do you mean like an application, or I'd love to do a game engine if I had infinite years in my life? You could do a game engine. If it's 2D, you could definitely do it in probably like a couple months. Like the hardest part of a game engine is definitely the UI and stuff like that. It's the middle parts. The actual like elements of a game engine is usually solved. So like you can make a game engine and base the technology off of something that you know works. Like for example, Monogame or libgdx or Love2D or something. Yeah, 2D is pretty easy. I feel like a 2D game engine is something you could definitely do, and yet is something that I feel like there's not that many of out there. There are some. CTJS is one. GDevelop is one. I kind of hesitate to put Dfold in there because there's a lot of coding. Well, I guess yeah, I would put that in there. So Dfold. Oh snap! What was that? Like, not Flash. Develop. What's that? Stencilworks. Yo, what happened to Stencilworks, dude? A stencil with just a Y. I thought it was Stencilworks. This dude. What happened to this guy? They're still at it. Seems like they are. Yeah, seems like they are. This pricing is so hard, dude. $100 a year. That's not so bad, I guess. Actually, $100 a year. $200 a year is pretty bad for iOS, Android, web, and desktop. That's a little. I feel like 100 is like, well, that's like $10 a month. That's not so bad, but 200 a year is kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot. But this was a cool engine. I like the whole it's kind of an all-in-one kind of engine. So you could definitely, and it's like you don't need to code. You can do things graphically, visually. So if you can definitely do a 2D game engine. If it's 3D, that's harder, but even that isn't that hard if you have the tools and the frameworks. Like if you're working with libgdx as an example, or Godot, if you wanted to make a 3D game engine that basically extends Godot, you probably could do that by basically packaging Godot in with your own engine and then making your own UI on top. I don't know why you would do that, considering Godot is so complicated already, but like like it does so much and it's so complicated. But for a 3D game engine, like if you're working with for a 3D game engine, it's important, I feel like, to go with like a really strong framework. 2D, I feel like you can kind of do more yourself. 2D like framework, you could just be like, well, I'll choose this engine, even if it doesn't have physics. I can come up with my own physics because it's not complicated. It's not too hard to do physics. But for 3D, it's like, yeah, you definitely want something that, you know, doesn't require you to like reinvent the wheel on that. And that's coming from somebody who reinvented the wheel. All right, that's it. Oh, we never implemented tables, so that we can discard that. Okay. All right, so this is it. We can like can we? Yeah, we can. So let's put all the fixes at the bottom. There we go. All the quality of life stuff at the top. All right. Stage all this stuff. Cool. I'm kind of done now, like after all that. But let's see how this would work if I wanted to do my own, if I wanted to do tooltips. So the idea behind tooltips is, of course, everyone's, I'm sure, familiar with it, but you know, if you're like, you know, just to kind of know what we're talking about, you hover over something and it displays something, right? That's a tooltip. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be any specific information. This is kind of more so what I'm thinking, is basically hovering your mouse over a button that is primarily an icon, and it shows you text that says what it does. That's really important for this situation where it's like, you know, which of these wrapping modes does which. You know, it could be good if this was like a more, if it said what it was. That's the idea. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how we would at least try to implement this. The idea that I currently have, which is the idea that I was thinking of, was basically I define a, wait a second, my element. Here we go. I define a, an object, which will be something like this, tooltip. And that basically wraps over something, and it detects if the mouse is in that space, and if so, it will display some information. That's the idea. So the tooltip does not have its own anything. It just wraps something else that already exists. So something like this, element, menu element. It returns a tooltip. Okay, so return tooltip. Okay, and we say func. Update. Draw. Rectangle. Set rectangle. And then finally destroy. Okay, so it doesn't do anything really. It just calls the relevant functions from its wrapping object, like so. There we go. Tool text. We can store this as a room, I guess. Well, it could be a string, I guess, because we have control. Well, let's store it as a room, I suppose. All right, so that's the idea here. We can get rid of this now because we already transferred everything over. And now we go over to here, text editing. Excuse me. And here we say we want to make a new icon. Okay. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We can't do this like this. Immediately sees that there's going to be an issue because if we have an icon button group, it's expecting to see icons and, well, let's see, how else could we do this? So you mouse over and the tooltip should display, but if we have an icon button group as an example, we can't put the tooltip in the, well, I guess we could do that. We could put the tooltip in the icon button. Because not everything needs a tooltip. We just need some things to have a tooltip. Well, ideally, we want everything to have a tooltip. Okay, so what if we made it so that every row had a tooltip? So this is a tooltip. This is a tooltip. This is a tooltip. This has a tooltip. This has a tooltip. That might be more doable. Because then you don't have to have your mouse hover over any specific object. We could just have the tooltip display when your mouse is over this area. That's weird, I thought okay, never mind. That could work. And this is a tooltip, that's a tooltip, this is a tooltip. This works for almost everything, and it doesn't require a huge rewrite. So this would basically have a tooltip when you have your mouse in this area. Okay, that's doable. Run, son of a gun. Welcome to the stream. More tooltip. Ladle. What? What are you talking about? All right. All right. So I think that would be a good approach. So a tooltip in this case doesn't really need to exist at all like this. Well, let's go menu row. Container. So containers have rows, and then the rows can have tooltips, which is a rune, something like this. So when you mouse over it, it will display text. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say, maybe we should just do string. Yeah, let's just do string for now. Well, no, this is fine. If row.tooltip, it's not even. Let me see. I'm not sure if this is nil or if this is an empty slice. I'm not sure which. It's an empty slice. Okay, so if length is greater than 0. All right, so if we have some text in the row tooltip, then we can display it if mouse raw position inside row.rect. All right, so we'll see if this works here. We're gonna go to main. We're gonna go to this. Is this it? Yes. So we can say row.tooltip. You know what? I prefer this string, and then we can just say if it's the same thing. That works fine. All right. So if we mouse over that space, it should be like, hey. That worked a lot better than I thought it was. I thought it would. Yeah, that works really well. Okay. Okay, so what we want this to do then is we want to display a tooltip in some sort of tooltip-y thing. We might be able to use this little guy. Let me see. Draw label. Yeah. Specify text in XY position. This might work really well. This might actually be super simple. Okay. For wrap, it might be that we want this to kind of automatically, yeah. Horizontal border will. Border will text that goes beyond a card's horizontal border. All right, so T-Cota Dev says, "Yo, master, what's the plan?" Ha 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 ha. All right, so the plan is I'm working on tooltips, which is something that I have not done because I thought it would be a lot harder than it seems like it's going to be. This isn't the ideal method to do this, but it does seem to be easy enough to implement. Okay, so we want to draw label. To go, the dev says, I'm working on text rendering in SEL right now from scratch using textures and pixel fonts. It's proving surprisingly tricky. Yeah, it's how do you get your word wrap working and the ability to scroll text in the window. So the way that scrolling text works is that it's rendering all the text to the screen. It's not rendering to a texture, I don't think. I think it's rendering the text to the screen, and as you scroll, it's changing basically the Y offset of the, I can do it this way. As you scroll, it changes the Y offset. So here it's rendering at, 0, 0, we'll say. As you scroll down, it's rendering at like -32, 0, -32, and -64, -128, etc., etc. And then we also use a clipping rectangle to cut off to make a box around the window. So I swear this is zooming in and out when I don't want it to, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it is or not. But yeah, we use a clipping rectangle, SDL. It's renderer.setClipRect, I believe. Yeah, setClipRect. That basically changes or sets. That makes it so that if something draws outside of that rectangle, it doesn't show up. So that allows us to do stuff like this without having to actually render to a texture. Yeah, clipping rectangles is really useful for this kind of stuff. Because the alternative would be to render to one big texture and then just draw a subset of that texture and scroll the subset as you scroll the mouse wheel, as an example. Or that's kind of it. Like you could maybe render to something, but yeah, rather than rendering to a giant texture, that's fine if you didn't want to use clipping rectangles or you needed the texture for some other reason, but otherwise it would be really big really fast. Like you would probably run out of video memory if you had a non-negligible dialogue of some description. Like, something like this might be fine, but something like this would be just it would be way too big. There would be no way you could do it. For most people, like, I think my graphics card might be fine, but if your graphics card can only support 2048 by 2048 maximum texture sizes, then you probably wouldn't be able to have this. This probably wouldn't work. Let's see. As for word wrap, that's kind of complicated. That's done by, wait, hold on. Let me see if this works. Yo, it kind of does a little bit. The wrapping mode for, yeah, it works a little bit. So it works a little bit. We will just, for an example, push it like this. Because I need to see if it's actually, is it only drawing one? Whoops, only drawing one line. I wonder where I use this quick render text. Okay, well, anyway. Word wrap is kind of complicated. I might get into it at some point. Did it just say text? Oh, it's clipping again. It's clipping, I think. Yeah, we need it to not do that. So something like this might help us out a little bit. Okay, so yeah, it kind of does. Now here's the thing, you can see there's a couple issues here. One is it's small. That's kind of a problem, but more so it's only drawing like a single line. We need it to be a 9 patch. Which I really don't want to do right now. I really don't want to do that right now. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to do nah, I don't want to do that. That would be bad. That would be bad. It would look better if we had the 9 patch. But even without the 9 patch, it's way too small for it to be readable. Even for like me, with a relatively it's just that's almost unreadable. So it needs to be bigger anyway. So we'll leave this function the way it is, and we'll just make another function for tooltips. It will work like this. It will basically work the same, but we'll do a couple things differently. One is we will do this. Hold on. We don't need that. I'm not going to draw a texture. Instead, we will how did I do this? Tooltip seemed really small. Could it be as big as the label? Yeah, I think it needs to be bigger. But I think what I'm going to do is probably something like this. Let's see. Global not. Let me see here. Do I have a fill rec thick rect? Thick rect? What's that? Oh, thick. Oh, thick. It's a rectangle of lines that are thick. I see. So we're gonna do fill rect. So menu color. X, that's Y. That's the H. This can be 1. Oh, whoops. This could also be 1. Okay, let's try this. Oh, I didn't actually use this, did I? I didn't actually use this function. So tooltip. Okay, so something like that should be a little bit better. Just a smidge. Better. Set the wrapping mode for editable text. Wrap text that goes beyond a card's horizontal border will wrap to a new line. Extend as you type. The will expand horizontally. Okay, so that works. Now, it'd be great if we could make it so that it only like shows up on the button that you hover over, but I don't think I can do that. For now, I'm not sure how I would kind of do that. So there's a couple things we can do. One is we want it to be off. It might be good to be slightly smaller if possible. So let's try. I don't know how it'll look if we do go for like a 0.75 size text. Not half, but not whole. That looks pretty good. It's fine. Yeah. So what we want to do then is really have it be where should the tooltip align to the edge of the button in widget in question? Yeah, we want it to be also it's cutting off the horizontally line. That's not there. Let's see. Let's see. We're just gonna do this for now. Might be fine. Yeah, we want it to kind of like, I feel like, bias toward the center of the screen. So it's like down here, up here maybe, when the menu's down here, and when it's up here, it's like down here. That way, no matter what, it's never like, I mean, I guess we can make it so that it's either above or below. It doesn't have to be, yeah, I guess that's fine. If y is greater than what's that screen size that y divided by 2 is greater than mid height, suppose that y minus equal 64. Could that be fixed by holding down some key to see the tooltip, like shift maybe? That could work. That works actually pretty well. Oh, it has to be minus equal text size dot y minus 32. That could work. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to make it so that you have to press a button, because then it kind of feels like it's easy to. How is this still? This stuff should be in the, well, yeah, this stuff should be in here. You could use that and then click to get a tooltip with a question mark icon. F1 is always often a help hotkey. I don't know. Like this isn't bad as it is. It'd be nice if there was like an icon in the tooltip, but well, yeah, we also need to make it so that it never goes off screen in either direction. But this is pretty good already. This is already a pretty heavy improvement. All right, I'm going to call it there. I have to think about it, because I feel like having a button doesn't really do what I want it to do. Having a question mark, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe to call the dev, maybe you're on the right track. Maybe I just need a little question mark icon that if you hover over it, it will display the tooltip. Then I could put that wherever I want. It doesn't have to be where the controls have tooltips on them, because that would require kind of changing things around considerably. Doing it like this where it's over the entire row kind of feels weird, because you wouldn't necessarily, like, you know, some places like there's, you know, you're hovering in blank space and yet you're still getting a tooltip. That feels a little weird. So having a little icon, for example, to the left of all the applicable items that need tooltips, that seems good. That seems like it would be a good approach. I think the user can press on it in that case. Yeah, that seems to be a good idea, because then you can make it so that the person presses the icon, it creates the tooltip or shows the tooltip, and then when you mouse away far enough from the tooltip, it disappears, or if you click it again. And then if you don't want it there, then it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be there whenever you're selecting options. You can have it where it's only there when you need to. Takeoff Dev says, by the way, was there a design stream for MasterPlan? The design stream is the coding stream. It's kind of like I'm designing now. Like, thanks to your suggestion, that's a better design, I think, than what I came up with initially. If you mean like a design stream for the entirety of MasterPlan, for like the how it works or what it's doing and all that, like the features that need to be added, no. But there's not very much more to add. Tables and whiteboards, you can check the wiki online that talks about, you know, how to use it and stuff, and there's also a roadmap. So there's not very much more for 0.8. The real big ones are these two, and then just some more stuff that I would like to have implemented. But overall, I mean, like, this might change. This is subject to change. There's not really a game design stream using MasterPlan. Oh, no, there hasn't been. But I can do that next time. Maybe I can do that Wednesday or Tuesday. I gotta see. I'm not sure which day I'll stream next, but I can stream. That could be cool to stream, because there was a game idea I had that I liked, which is essentially like a Animal Crossing, but in modern day, you know, cities. So you have, you know, this kind of chill, non-violent kind of exploration slash you know, community game where you talk to people and learn more about people and stuff like that. But it's not like, you don't do just like the normal Animal Crossing things, like maybe farm and stuff like that. And you know, farming isn't super big in Animal Crossing, but you don't do that stuff that much. Maybe you do other things like community things where you help clean up the community, pick up trash. Maybe you can be a shop owner and, like, you know, sell food, that kind of stuff. The stuff that you would kind of like would see in this game and you wouldn't see that much in Animal Crossing. I feel like that would be interesting. That'd be fun. So maybe so. I think that could be a fun stream. Snowminx says, do you know of any additions you'd like to see the community add to Tetra 3D? Make it faster. I mean, like, not really. Not too much. There's things on Tetra 3D on the front page that are things that I'd have yet to implement or have implemented. So that would be a good place to start, I would suppose, this stuff. So clipping triangles to the view, that is important. Well, I don't know if that's necessary, because that is basically like, if you have a triangle and it's partially off screen, then it clips into one or two other triangles rather than drawing the triangle at full size. I think that is important, because if you do clip it to the view properly, then, well, I think that's important, but I feel like I can get by without it, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. I can't click there. Okay. Okay, drawing a triangle in 3D space could be good. That's kind of useful. Similarly, drawing a line in 3D space would be good. Drawing a line in 3D space would just be probably drawing two triangles, like a quad. So drawing a triangle and drawing a quad in 3D space would be good. It should be relatively easy to do and shouldn't be too complicated. Although I'm reworking Tetra 3D pretty much entirely to use indices, as you've seen in my last stream. So that means that there's a lot of additional, like, things are going to change pretty heavily. Dynamic 3D text could be cool, or the ability to display text would be cool. Okay. Well, this would be cool. The ability to view and edit properties. So, like, if you have a property on a character, let's say health, when you go into your Blender level, you can place these characters, and let me actually do it. Let me show you. Takatha Dev says, does Tetra 3D support 3D text? If you mean like 3D text, like 2D text on a 3D plane, Yeah, text is just an image in Ebitingen. It's just a 2D image, so you can put that on a plane and display it in 3D with perspective and stuff. That would work just fine. So making that process smoother would be cool. Whoops. But this is what I was talking about. Like if you have a scene, and also this is a scene showcasing a new logo for Tetra 3D that I've been kind of thinking about / implementing. I'm not sure if this will work. Let me see. My dog outside just going nuts. Logo. Yeah, so this is the new logo. This is cool. A cool little, yeah, this is basically one of 2 new logos, either black or white. So that the idea is that you would be able to use this logo, either a render of it or the actual 3D model in a game if you wanted to make it with Tetra 3D. But yeah, the idea here is essentially if you have your object here, like let's say we have let's say we wanted to control, let me do that. Let's say you wanted to control the spin of this tetrahedron. And this is something that you could do in Unity with the prefab system, I'm sure, or Godot with properties and things like that. But basically, you would go in here and you would make a group out of it, create a new collection rather, and we'll say this is a logo, right? And so we say, okay, we want to select the Tetra 3D icon, the object, and we have it say spin. I already put a game property on there saying spin. Let's say I want it to be customizable to change how fast I can make it spin by applying a float property, making it a float instead of a Boolean. So we'll say it defaults to 1. So we select all these objects and we can add them to the logo collection. And then you can instantiate that logo. And I actually kind of screwed up a little bit here. Well, that's fine. It doesn't matter. So anyway, we're instantiating the logo. So this is basically an object that when you go into Tetra 3D and play it, well, let's show it. I can show it to you here. We'll just save it. It will export as you'd expect. We go back to VS Code and run. And so here's the original logo. There's the black logo, and if we go out here, oh, that doesn't work because we have to parent this. I forgot. Save. Okay. So here's the original logo. Yeah, all those logos. If you go out here, here's the new logo out in space. No, it's not there. Why is it not there? Whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a reason why it's not working. But all right, it is working, and I'm not thinking correctly. But the point I was getting at is the property on this object spin. It would be cool if when we make a group instance, it would appear here, and then we could change it to be like this logo has a spin of 2, this logo has a spin of 1.9, this logo has a spin of 0.3. That way you don't have to you can easily like override properties as necessary. So that would be, I think, maybe the number one thing I would be like, man, that would really be cool. So that if you have, for example, enemies, you could just be like, oh, I want this enemy to be a red Goomba instead of a blue Goomba, or I want this Koopa Troopa to be a green Koopa Troopa instead of a red one, or whatever the case is. You could have those kinds of easily customizable properties and use these group instances in Blender like prefabs in other engines. So that would be like the number one thing that I feel like you could easily add, or it wouldn't be like easy, but it's something that would be relatively easy and that wouldn't really change, as I'm working on Tetra 3D with the back end, because that's something that's on the front end more so. So that would be cool. This actually got implemented, but yeah, that would be cool. That got implemented. Why didn't I check that off? I mean, like, yeah, there's things here that would be cool that I haven't done. Oh, raycasting would be cool if you want to undertake a lot of 3D math. That would be a lot of fun to do 3D raycasting. That's necessary for a lot of games. Yeah, that would be very useful, but I'm not sure if anyone wants to do that, because that's a lot of math. It's a lot of 3D math. But it would be fantastic if we got raycasting. So there's some things. Yeah, if anyone's interested in working on Tetra 3D, as I do different things and add different features, and it already is kind of dope. Like, speaking with a bias, it's kind of dope what you can do with Tetra 3D. I think I talked about this previously, but I added the ability to make a mesh and turn it into a grid, and basically that allows you to navigate between points on the grid with like pathfinding. Like it just does pathfinding. So you can be like, oh, here's my level. For example, let's actually undo all this. That's fine, I guess. I really shouldn't have saved that, now that I think about it. But like, if you have your level, let's just say this is your level. You could say like, oh, I want to do like, have enemies that can find you and chase you down. We'll need pathfinding. You can go ahead and say, all right, well, we're going to start making it here using this plane. And so each vertex becomes a point, and each line between vertices becomes a path, a valid path. So you just go to the object type and change it from mesh to grid, and then that's it. Now it's pathfinding as opposed to being a visible mesh. So I mean, like, there's a lot of cool stuff about Tetra 3D that I like. Even though it's not fast, even though it's not OpenGL or Vulkan or DirectX or anything like that, and it's not going to be fast enough to render anything visually impressive. The sheer ability to just make the engine or make Blender or make whatever you want work the way you want, or in this case add features that improve the workflow or make things really smooth, it's just unparalleled. Like, it's great. That's why I like it so much. It's just like, I can't keep away from working on this thing, because it's like, even though it's not going to be the best engine, it might be a great engine for indie developers or people who do primarily 2D things or smaller 3D things, because it's like, oh, grids are ugly, or they're not comfortable to use. Okay, well, let's make them comfortable to use. It's not like Unity or Unreal or something where it's like, you have to either make your entire like new add-on to like supersede Unity or Unreal's how they do it, or you have to wait for them to fix it or something like that. The entire code base of Tetra 3D is tiny. It's like a few thousand lines for the entire thing. It's not very, very big. This is probably camera, I think. No, this might be the most. Well, this, as an example, is the model code. This is 900 lines. Mesh, this is the mesh code. This is 1,300 lines. Camera is 1,700 lines, 1,800. So it's like, there's not very much there. So if you were like, oh, I want to add like, a different data type, so that you can like change this, from bool, int, float, string, object, color. I wanted to add like, let's say, a file data type that allows you to browse for a file like an image or a sound. You could do that in an afternoon. And that would be just really cool to just, it's very easy to get into. It's very easy it's very easy to maintain. I just hope I can get it fast enough to be where it's like, yeah, it's good enough. I feel like I'm getting it there, and I feel like it's faster the more I work on it. I'm just hoping that I can get it to the point where it's maintaining a solid 60 FPS on a non-trivial scene. And if it can get there, if it can get fast enough, then this is beautiful to me. I don't know why I'm tapping the microphone so much. I'm sorry. Tikatha Dev says, honestly, if we can get CPU side multi-threading and SIMD going, Tetra 3D could be plenty capable. I hope so. I'm not multi-threading is a little tough. And I'm also not sure, there's a couple ways to do it. You could either multi-thread an individual model transformation, or you could multi-thread multiple models at the same time. Multi-thread the transformation process of multiple models at the same time. And there's kind of upsides and downsides to either approach. You know, if you multi-thread an individual model's transformation process, that might represent a lot of starting and stopping of Go routines. If you multi-thread multiple objects in the game scene, there's no guarantee that you'll really get that much of a benefit if the objects aren't of evenly distributed vertex densities. So if you have a massive terrain object that is, let's say, 20,000 or 50,000 triangles or something like that, you know, it shouldn't be that much, but let's say, you know, your terrain is, you know, 10,000 triangles, and then you have objects that are 4 or 8 triangles each. Multi-threading is not going to do very much, because one thread is going to be taking time multi-threading this giant terrain object while other threads are working on smaller things. But then conversely, if you have a lot of small objects, then you can't really multi-thread them efficiently, because you're going to be starting and stopping threads constantly for, you know, 4 or 8 or 16 triangle objects. So it's kind of like, you know, trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of like go about this. The Dev says, I think the most straightforward way is to make specific batch functions that explicitly use multi-threading. What do you mean? Because the nature of Tetra 3D's rendering is such that when you render an object, he says, that way it can be made explicit at certain points in the game loop what data you want to batch in for where. Like, I think I get what you're saying, and I think that's a good idea, but well, I just had another idea, actually. Hold on. No. Well, that's something I had an idea, but I have to come back to it. What did you want to batch in for where? I'm not sure what you mean. I assume you mean internally, like, you know, batch functions that transform a batch of models. But the thing about, well, we could multi-thread the transformation process of all models at the same time, because basically, if you know, we don't need to actually render these objects together, because we can't do that. We have to we have to basically stop rendering objects according to their texture or according to their materials, right? That's what makes a render batch, I think, in, you know, any normal rendering engine, and it's the same concept here in Tetra 3D. But we can multi-thread a whole bunch of objects at the same time, so that would be something that would definitely help out. I just haven't. I started on multi-threading, and I didn't really get too much of a like, you know, something out of it. So I decided to just roll back the changes I made. I never committed them to the public edition, branch of Tetra 3D, but that would be, you know, I started on it. I kind of started an idea of working on it. It just didn't really go anywhere. But I do think that multi-threading would be like a massive improvement if I could hit it. If I could do it right, then it should be, you know, a massive improvement. That's just hard to do. I think it also might be good to try multi-threading the game update side of things and the rendering update side of things, because if we use mutexes, I guess, if we use mutexes to make it so that if you request or change an object's world position, you know, it basically does this when it's not in the middle of you know, transforming it, that would allow us, I would hope, to basically render. Well, now that I think about it, maybe it would be even just faster, or a good approach to basically give the user a thread that they can execute logic on, and that after they execute the logic, it then does the multi-threading. And then once that is done, it sends the data to the GPU on the main thread. That process of sending it to the GPU on the main thread can happen even while the logic thread is running, because once let me pull up VS Code here. like once we go to the whole idea of render, where's flush? Here we go. So the whole idea is that we render objects by basically saying like, you know, take the model, take a model, render, take the meshes, vertices, transform them, and then like, you know, push the data from these transformed vertices into Abby-Tangent vertex objects for their position and UV values and texture and all that stuff. No, we can't. No, maybe. Well, the idea is that basically once we're done with that, then when we go to flush, this takes, you know, some milliseconds to do this, to basically actually draw the 3D objects. This can be done on a thread basically, or alternatively, this could be done on the main thread while the game is running on an alternate thread. That way we can save basically 3 or 4 milliseconds, which is kind of a lot. You know, that's a non-negligible amount of time. You might gain 30-40% performance by basically pushing everything else to another thread. So multi-threading does have room. There is room to improve here. I'm not sure if I would be able to do this, because this requires that the material texture, a mesh part that's rendered, does not have like any changes to its material. So this might require a mutex, because we have to pass the image from a material. But we probably could do that. Like I'd have to think about it. There might be a way around this to basically do this stuff on another thread while your main thread, or do this on the main thread while another thread is doing game logic stuff like moving objects and, you know, all that stuff. Although that stuff is going to be relatively small. That stuff is not that much. So I don't know. There's a lot to do with multi-threading. There's a lot of room for improvement. Yeah. So I think if anyone wants to work with Tetra 3D, like to try to improve it, please check out my Discord and ask me, because I'm just not sure if you're like brand new to 3D math and stuff, like just brand new to everything. I'm sure I could come up with something that would be helpful, that would be very simple and easy. Whereas if you're like, oh yeah, I know 3D math, I know, matrix multiplication and all that stuff. Like, you know, I'm not an amateur, or I'm not new to these concepts. Then that, you know, you might be more interested in maybe something more difficult. So it's something else. I don't know if this will ever get like good enough to like really grasp something cool, but I kind of feel like it's getting there. And hopefully it will get there. Hopefully with just a little bit more time, it'll get to the point of being like, yeah, this is a capable 3D framework that isn't necessarily the most capable, the most capable. It's good enough, but it's not the most capable, but it's very comfortable. Because I feel like that's the hardest part of making games is, really working with an engine that's very comfortable and that kind of stays out of your way and works well. TakeOff Dev says, another thing I'm wondering, can you implement something like level of detail for background objects such that it's not doing much work if objects are out in the distance, switching to point cloud rendering, for example? That's an idea. I mean, like, I haven't implemented that into the engine proper, but you could do that. One could do that if in their, personal game. I kind of like the idea. I don't know if it's possible, but it would be interesting if there was some way to like, it would be interesting if there was some way to automatically do level of detail, but on an engine level, on a rendering level, where basically we say, if it's so far away, then like skip some of the triangles, get just the nearest some amount, and just draw those or something, and like round it off, like scale them up and round it off, so that it's a convincing effect. It might be doable. I have to think about it. I gotta see. It might be like we can just make an automatic LOD because we have control over the entire rendering process, where we can say like, oh, this is so far away, so draw it with LOD detail 2, so just round off the clipping X and Y position, something like that. Like there might be a drastically simpler way to do some of these things. So I have to see. I feel like there's things that I probably can do with this render that an ordinary renderer wouldn't be able to do, because you're just sending it to OpenGL or sending it to DirectX to render. You're giving it a list of triangles, or you're giving it a list of vertex positions and vertex coordinates and those kinds of things. Whereas with my renderer, it's like, well, I'm doing the clipping, I'm doing the triangle transformation, so I might be able to do hacks or special things that would speed things up or simplify things for certain render paths. I don't know. That's an idea. I have to think about it. We'll see. Maybe I'll have a stream where I do Tetra 3D design using MasterPlan, where I'm like, okay, I'm using Tetra 3D to I'm using MasterPlan rather to design like how the multi-threading could work and all that stuff, because it kind of feels like I want to walk through the entire process and design it and work on it, but it's not like I don't want to just start working on it without like really knowing how it should work. It needs to work a certain way. It needs to work certain ways in order to be functional, but also to be effective. It can't just be like, you can't just slap multi-threading into an engine. It has to be designed properly. So I'll see if I can get it to be designed properly, because I feel like that's a important part of the game development process, or the engine, this renderer development process. Takeoff the Dev says point cloud rendering could help with that. If you have logic like select sample points interpolated from triangles, help with auto LOD. Point cloud rendering. Maybe that would be good, because at a certain point, like if we clip the triangles and the objects are small enough on screen to be negligible in size, and maybe if you have auto LOD like enabled or disabled, then we might be able to just draw circles. The color would be a different issue though. How could you get the color for the circle to match up with where the texture would be on the model? It would have to use the same texture and have the same UV values. So it would have to be like the texture, there would have to be a texture of a circle and a texture of the model's texture. And it basically clips I guess it would just, no, it has to, I have to think about it. I got to think about it. Approximation from bitmaps for color. There might be ways to do it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like there's ways to make this faster, and I'll have to think about it. There's probably a lot of things that I just haven't considered that you both are describing or tipping me off to, where this could be a lot faster and go from 0.32 milliseconds to 0.01 milliseconds or 0.10 milliseconds. I mean, it's already fast enough for this simple scene. I just need to be faster. But that's also a trap in itself. Like the trap of the optimizer is one of like, make it faster. But like, you could, rather than working with what I have, I'm like, I got to make it faster. I got to make it better. And it's like, I should probably make something with it. Maybe I should focus on making something with it. But anyway, it's been real. I'll have to catch you guys on the flip side. I got to get something to eat. It's been enjoyable. And thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll be able to keep making content, keep making games and MasterPlan and stuff like that moving forward. And I appreciate everybody coming through to check out my stream. If you want to support development, please check out the links in the description to Patreon, MasterPlan on itch and Steam. Please check out Tetra 3D and my Discord as well. Also, I have a Tumblr. Check out my Tumblr. That's going to be kind of like blog, so I'll post little articles and things like that up there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLune. I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time, and see ya.